Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Clipboard Confessional with Bobby and Anthony. I'm one of your hosts, Anthony Agnano, and joining me a week before Thanksgiving, one of the original pilgrims himself, my colleague, co-host, good friend, Mr. Bobby Wah. Bobby, we're knocking on the door of Thanksgiving, a week away. It's week 12 of our fantasy season. It's Thursday night. We're about a half hour from our kickoff from the Buffalo Bill Texans game. How are you? You've got some iced tea, it looks like. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm a little curious. Why am I a pilgrim? Is it
Uh,
is it
you're
is it the
you
beard and
are
because I hunt for my food?
you hunt, you've probably built a boat and sailed across the seas. You once dated a woman named Nina Pinta, first and last name. You've done all of these things. You've done all of these things. You are one with nature. I am not a pilgrim. No, no, no. I would have been an aristocrat, and you would have been a down and dirty pilgrim. That's if we knew each other back in the day. I'm the guy with the powdered wig, and you were out, pilgriming and getting my meal. Now, at that time, I would have felt good about it. But now, at this point in my life, I'm embarrassed by it. I'll be the first one to acknowledge it. And here we are.
I'm glad that you admit I am the real man of this relationship.
Well, it is a relationship. I'm glad you acknowledge that. Here we are. Real men. Listen, that's strong. That's strong. That's strong. But I will give that you're a hunter, a gatherer. So I'll give you that. I'll give you that. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I mean, you got a Baltimore Orioles hat, and you got a doll. Like as much as you want to say you're a real man, like there's a doll over your left shoulder. So
There's
nonetheless, it
Hold
is
on.
what it is. It
There's
is
a
what it is.
back
You still
there's
play
a
with dolls.
there's a backstory to the Funko Pop we're about to get to.
Oh,
Um
the Funko Pop. Oh, real man.
yes.
You want to play with my Funko Pop? Okay.
Oh, dude, hold on, man. You're about to put your foot in your mouth. But from here on out, since I am the real, obvious real man, I would like you to refer to me as Big Spoon. So thank you.
That just got weird. All right.
All right. So this is actually okay. So let's get serious for a second.
Yes.
Um, we have a listener request, and it is
Oh,
yes, and it is a very important listener. Those who are here in the show and have followed me for a few years, I've had a couple podcasts in the past. And unfortunately, my last co-host on my podcast unexpectedly passed away. Well, his daughter, who is in high school, she listens to our show, and we were talking this past week, and actually, that Funko Pop is his. Him and his daughter
oh,
had a Funko Pop thing. I know,
now I'm a
you didn't
piece of
know.
shit. Now I'm a
I
piece of shit.
I know, no, no, but that's why that's always there. And she made a request, so
What's the request?
I thought we would honor it for this show. Him and I, we'd always start off a show, and I had your role, so I was point guard, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
came
yeah.
up with, and so we started each show with I'd ask a random question he wasn't expecting, and it was like, "What are your favorite three somethings?" And
Okay.
she said, "You know what? I really like your new show, but I feel like it's missing something." And I said, "Well, that was your dad and I's thing." And she said, I'd love to hear it." So I
Okay.
got one for you, okay? And since
Okay.
you're not
And
expecting it,
hello to
her, her
her.
her name
Thank
is
you for
Alexandra.
listening,
Her name is
and God bless you. I
Alexandra.
really mean that. I really mean
Yes,
that.
she is an incredible young lady. But my question for you, and I'll go first since you were not
Okay.
expecting this, but your favorite three NFL football players of all time. It doesn't have to be for your team. Um, one of mine isn't, but just sit there and you think about your favorite three
Lawrence
NFL.
Taylor,
Okay, that was easy, I figured.
Eli
Um,
Manning.
really? Okay, never mind. I won't go first. Keep going. You got your third?
Lawrence Taylor,
That's an
Eli
obvious.
Manning, and I'd probably say Barry Sanders.
Lawrence Taylor might be. He's definitely top 20 for me, maybe top 15. So I figured as a Giants fan that'd
Remember,
be easy.
I'm a little bit older than you,
Yeah.
so I grew up Sunday afternoons before all the cable and everything else. Right? You got 3 games a week. You got your 2 games on Sunday and Monday Night Football, and you got back in the New York area at that time. The Jets and Giants never played at the same time. One was always 1 o'clock. One was always 4 o'clock. And I grew up in that. My first football experiences were that Giants team. The Phil Simms, Joe Morris, Lawrence Taylor, Harry Carson, Gary Reasons. That was the linebacker. Carl Banks. Those were the
Or
four
Banks.
linebackers on that team. Those were the four linebackers on that team. So Lawrence Taylor was must watch. Eli Manning is the older, now in my 20s and 30s. In really my 30s. Like, I remember going to my brother's house, watching the Giants Packers when Tom Coughlin's face froze off,
Yeah.
right? And that whole playoff run, and that playoff run kind of was around the same time I started this whole podcast Sirius XM journey. That playoff was my first time on podcasts, and I predicted the Giants that year to go to the Super Bowl. They were on just riding a magical wave. And then Barry Sanders comes from, and it's funny that it ties into this, Thanksgiving. Detroit Lions always played Thanksgiving. You always watched it, and Barry Sanders was the must watch of football. Like, he was must watch. If the Lions were on, no matter how bad the Lions were, they were must watch. Now, I'll hit you with one caveat. Those are my favorite football players. I will asterisk this with my favorite athlete is Bo Jackson. What he did, football and baseball, is off the charts. Now, you're having a moment, which I'm assuming your old friend's favorite athlete as well. So I just hit something there, right? But
Dude,
Jackson listen, Bo Jackson would have been a Hall of Famer in 2 sports if he never breaks his hip. Right? Let's acknowledge that. Bo Jackson on a Monday night running literally up off an outfield wall, and then 5 days later on Sunday breaking a 75-year-old run. I mean, Bo Jackson pushed Marcus Allen to Kansas City for the Raiders. So Bo Jackson, no matter what he did, baseball all-star game, football, whatever it was, favorite athlete to watch of all time, just not favorite football player. Now, I'll throw it at you. 3 favorite football
dude,
players.
well, first off, I'm sitting here thinking, what an amazing segue to my turn, and which makes you one of the best in the business, even by accident, is because my number one favorite football player of all time is Barry Sanders. First jersey I ever purchased. I was in elementary school. My second favorite player is an Eagle, Brian Dawkins, Weapon X. That guy was such a treat to watch. And then my third one's a little, off the charts here, little just a personal favorite, and it's Ricky Waters. I really
Okay.
liked him with the Seahawks. The Eagles got him, and he won a Super Bowl with the Niners. He caught one of Steve Young's touchdown passes. But dude, I'm telling you right now, this could not have gone any better for us and for Alexandra because her dad's favorite player of all time is Bo Jackson. And the fact that you did not know that and threw that out there, my man Kevin Reynolds is watching. That is unbelievable and does things for my soul that I can't explain.
There you go.
So,
There you
dude,
go.
listen, I know you had no idea, but thank you for that, man.
Yeah, man. Good
That
stuff.
was
Good
good stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
And
gosh.
yeah, regards to Kevin's daughter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the idea. And seriously, God bless you, kiddo. All right, man. Let's get into some football before we
Yes.
both like
Yeah.
start tearing up and shit. All right,
Too late.
let's get it, pull it together. We've had our moment. Week 12 fantasy football season. Keep drinking that iced tea. All right, I'll even
Yeah.
call you Big Spoon if it makes you feel a little bit better. All right,
Good,
week
brother.
12
Let's go.
Thursday night football. Bills and Texans. Full slate of games on Monday. Some real fun matchups this week. Colts and the Chiefs in the 1 o'clock window is a fun game. In the 4 o'clock window, your Eagles at Dallas. Sunday night football, Tampa Bay and the Rams is a fun game. Monday night, Panthers, 49ers. 4 teams on a bye this week. Broncos, Chargers, Commanders, and Dolphins. A little bit of injury news. We know Atlanta is all beat up. Michael Penix done for the year. Drake London is out. Shador Sanders starting for Cleveland. Who cares? That's my take on that. We may see Joe Burrow return this week in week 12 for Cincinnati. He's been practicing. Let's see what happens there. Maybe we get Jackson Dart, Daniel Jones, questionable. Running backs, a whole lot of questionables, although I don't expect Josh Jacobs to play. And at the wide receiver position, Marvin Harrison and Drake London are both out. Chris Godwin looks like he's going to play this week for Tampa Bay, so be mindful of that. Brian Thomas Jr., Xavier Worthy listed as questionable. Bucky Irving is questionable. Maybe we see his return. But so I want to start there with you. Sean Tucker goes monster, right? Last week. Goes monster. Now, it was against Buffalo, which is why I like Woody Marks later tonight. Buffalo, great pass defense, can't stop the run. You could pick up 4.2 yards per carry. Now, if you remember last year, Sean Tucker had one game last year. He had 100 yards rushing, had a rushing touchdown, had a receiving touchdown, very similar to what he did on Sunday. And then very quickly, everybody else got healthy, and Sean Tucker went back to being the third RB running back on that team. Now, I do think he's past Rachaad White. But that being said, if Bucky Irving does play, and it's a tough matchup, the Rams defense is tough. Please don't go into this week expecting Sean Tucker part 2 this week. Okay, against that Rams defense. Rams, 100 yards rushing a game, only 2 rushing touchdowns all year. How do you treat that Tampa Bay backfield, though? Are you expecting once he's back, and I mean like back, Bucky Irving takes the job and run? Can you start Sean Tucker this week if Bucky Irving is active? What are we doing?
I'm not starting Sean Tucker this week.
Even if Irving is out?
I don't think I'm starting him unless I absolutely have to, even if Bucky is out. You said it yourself. I mean, this Rams defense is tough. Now, what I will say is even if Bucky plays, I don't want to start him. I think you have to because it's Bucky Irving, and he showed out last year. He showed out this year before he went down. Even the game he got injured, he dominated. So I'm not starting him. But if we think about the Rams, the defense has been great. However, they're just last week, Kenneth Walker had a pretty good game against them. And Bucky Irving is more of a Kenneth Walker style runner than Sean Tucker is. Sean Tucker is more of a Zach Charbonnet kind of guy. And we saw this last year, man. Yeah, like you said, Sean Tucker came in, he played well, and it didn't matter. I don't think it matters now either. If Bucky Irving sits, I don't want to play him because of the matchup. If Bucky Irving plays, I definitely don't want to play him because Bucky Irving is playing. I will put Irving in my lineup if he's active. I think you have to. But other than that, I don't want to touch these guys.
Fair enough. Full disclosure, in a flex spot, I have a shallower league. Gibbs and Kyron Williams are obviously my running backs. I'm starting Woody Marks over Sean Tucker this week.
I think that's
because of the matchup against Buffalo. Sean Tucker did what he did against Buffalo last week, and that's who Woody Marks has this week. Buffalo, 153 rushing yards a game. The Rams, only 100. Buffalo has allowed 14 rushing touchdowns. The Rams have only allowed 2. Can't ignore those numbers. They're too the difference between them is too big. Can't ignore them. So even though Sean Tucker went up for like 39 in my league, the way the scoring is, he's still on my bench. That's just the way it goes.
I got a question for you. How are we feeling about Luther Burden? Olamide Zaccheaus, he was the wide receiver 3. He's been, I think he dropped, I could be wrong, 2 or 3 weeks ago, he dropped 4 passes in one game. I mean, he has really stunk up the place. The snap counts have changed in Luther Burden's favor. Let's not forget, he was
Wide receiver 4 in a 12-teamer.
a high second round pick. This offense is clicking. Is Has Ben Johnson found his Jameson Williams yet?
Um, Here's my concern. Odunze is the clear wide receiver 1 now.
Clear.
DJ Moore is not getting targets, but he's still got a 90% snap share, and he's got a big contract. You can't put that on the bench. So because of that, Burden is still third at wide receiver there. The matchup against the Steelers, it does make sense, right? They've allowed 16 passing touchdowns, 9 to the wide receiver position, 39 points per game to wide receivers. The problem I have is as much as that offense is clicking, and it is clicking, other than Odunze, it's tough to trust fantasy-wise, right? Like DeAndre Swift, Monangai will steal a touchdown every now and then, but they're doing it without, how do I phrase this? I feel like the Bears are doing it without it's not a singular individual jumping off the stat sheet, if that makes sense. So as good as that offense is, other than Caleb Williams and probably DeAndre Swift and Odunze, I struggle trusting a lot of those offensive players from my fantasy perspective.
I hear you. I need one more week. I did pick him up this week to see what happens, with the hopes that he's going to show out a little bit. I'm in a
He's
league where
not surpassing Moore, though, on the depth charts. I just don't think that's happening. Moore's
I
making
agree.
too much money.
I agree, but I don't know that he definitely has to. I mean, if we think about Jameson Williams, he was third in the passing attack for the Lions as well because Laporta was two, compared to behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm in a league now where if Ramondre plays, or even if he doesn't, I got Ramondre, and I have Luther Burden, and I have to decide who I feel like rolling out there. And with
I am
Travion Henderson,
terrified of what's going to happen in that backfield in New England if
I
Ramondre comes
know
back.
that's what I'm saying.
But you can't argue it. They win, right? Like, they don't care about your fantasy team.
I
They
know.
win. And, I mean, Trevion Henderson should be all world. And, he may get 4 carries again this week if Ramondre plays. But people are going to play him. I feel like you got to play him, especially against the Bengals. Like, oh, my God, it's every fantasy dream you've had as a grown adult. Obviously, as you get older, those dreams change. But against the Bengals, you'd be like, Travion Henderson, Hunter Henry, you want everybody. And who knows what Vrabel's going to do?
I'll tell you
Who
what,
knows what he's going to do?
what bothered me a little bit about Burden when he came out. Personally, when I watched his film, he gave me like LaVisca Chenault vibes a little bit.
Those aren't good vibes. Those are bad vibes.
I know.
Those are
But
bad vibes.
LaVisca Chenault did not have Ben Johnson, so we'll have to see how this plays out.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's get into some of the players you like. Let's start at the quarterback position. Keeping in mind, no Bo Nix, no Justin Herbert, Washington, Mariota, Jaden Daniels, no Tua this week. They are all on a bye. Keeping in mind, Penix out, Gabriel out, CJ Stroud out, and Justin Fields finally benched for Tyrod Taylor. Give me a quarterback you like this week that maybe is flying under the radar.
I need to pour a little out for my guy, Justin Fields, man. You know how high I was on him coming into the season. And my gosh.
If we got in the car, he lives in the New York area, and I picked him up and I drove him to the world famous Jones Beach on the south shore of Long Island. And I walked him right up to the edge of the water. And the water ran through his toes.
Keep in mind,
caressed his feet.
I don't know what
and
this
I
is.
said, Justin, all I need you to do is throw that football and have it hit water. 50-50, he misses.
I think he drops it. I think he just rears back and drops it by accident.
Turns around and throws it into the sand. I don't know what he does, It's 50-50. He might hit it. I'm not saying he'll definitely miss. It's 50-50 he hits water.
I know if you let him throw it 30 times, he's not going to throw it for 100 yards.
No, no, no. He'll keep throwing it into a giant wave and keep bringing it backwards. He'll have to back up 5 times because the tide will bring it in. It would be a disaster. He would end up on the parkway by the fourth throw. The tide would keep bringing it in. It would be a nightmare. I feel bad about the whole thing. That being said, poor Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor playing for the Jets this week. That's where they are. All right. Now, let's get serious. Pull your shit together. I don't know what's in that iced tea. Anyway, give me a quarterback you want to pick. That you want to start.
Dude, my first one, he's got 2 consecutive games of under 5 fantasy points as a quarterback, which is absolutely terrifying. But my guy Sam Darnold is going against the Tennessee Titans. They're bottom 4. They're a bottom 4 defense against quarterbacks. The Seahawks just lost to division rival LA Rams, and they need a win. And this feels like one of those get right games where it's like, look, we're a good team. Good teams are supposed to beat up bad teams. We have got to ring 30 at least on these guys. JSN, go do your thing. Sam Darnold, you throw it to him every play. Darnold's going to get 2 touchdown passes to the air. He's going to get 250 yards.
All right, Sam Darnold coming off a 4-interception performance against the Rams. Still has not shed the can he do it in a big game, right? He hasn't shed that yet.
This is not a big game.
Late, though. He did bring him back near the end. Like they had a chance to win the game. Just couldn't pull it off. So you're right. He has to get right. Seahawks favored by 13.5 on the road against Tennessee. So there you go. You got another quarterback you like?
I do, and this one might be scarier than my first one. And there's a league where it's a 1 QB league, but they have 2 and 3 quarterbacks even in this league just sitting on their benches. And I have Justin Herbert, who's on a bye. So I picked up Joe Flacco, who might not play. So this guy who just had a absolute career day may be my starter this week, and that is Mr. Bryce Young. Unless you are in a ridiculous situation like mine, you're not playing him. However, if you're in a 2 QB league, I think you got something going here because San Francisco over the last
you could throw on them
especially over the last 4 weeks, they're the second worst defense against quarterbacks. And I understand Bryce Young's been terrible, but my guy, 30 fantasy points, 400 yards passing. Ted McMillan he's finding his way in the NFL. Like I said, 1 QB leagues. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that unless you're in a position like I'm finding myself in. But 2 QB leagues, I think I feel. I mean, he's going to be a top 16, 18 quarterback this week, right?
San Francisco, top 10 in most points allowed to quarterback, most passing yards allowed. So I guess bottom 10, 249.1 passing yards a game allowed. Bottom 10 in points per game allowed to quarterbacks, 22.6. 21 passing touchdowns allowed on the season by the San Francisco 49ers. The only other teams that have allowed more than 20 that are playing this week, Bears, Bengals, Cowboys. That's it. That have allowed 20 passing touchdowns of the teams that are playing this week. So risky for sure, but understandable and definitely a 2 QB league starter. Now, what about a quarterback you are avoiding this week?
I have had this guy on the waiver wire video, and I apologize. Listen, I'm doing my best as a dad and trying to get it done. I've missed it a couple weeks, but JJ McCarthy, man,
can't play him.
Can't play him. He's on the road against Green Bay. The Packers have given up like 10 points per game to quarterbacks over the last month. Dude, and listen, I think it's safe to say he's been terrible. Justin Jefferson is slamming his helmet on the sideline. Dude, just get it around him. Anywhere near Justin Jefferson.
Right. Let him do the work.
Right. And he just can't make it happen. So I can't put him out there. I can't put him out there in 2 QB leagues.
That's a fair point. Packers only allowing 195 passing yards a game, just under 18 points per game to quarterbacks, only 13 passing touchdowns allowed on the season. It's essentially in 10 games. So it's not even 2 touchdowns a pass allowed per game. What about the running back position? I've already mentioned Woody Marks. By the time people see this, that game will be underway. So is there anybody else you like at the running back position?
Could this finally be an Alvin Kamara week?
Uh,
My dude, my guy is not, or he has not scored more than 13 points in a week all year. But I'm calling it right now. Atlanta's been terrible against the run. He's going to get they're not giving it to Devin Neal, man. I kind of like Devin Neal coming out in the draft a little bit, and more than some other folks. But Alvin Kamara this is gonna be his season best game up to this date. He's going to get more than 13 points, Anthony. He's going to get more than 13 points. Calling it.
138.5 rushing yards a game allowed by the Falcons, 26 points per game to the running back position, 11 total touchdowns. It's tough to trust, but you're going to do it. All right, roll with it. Give me another running back. There's a few guys out here, right? Like when I look at the Bengals allowing 161 rushing yards a game, the Giants allowing 150 rushing yards a game. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is in. I think Montgomery is in play. I want Travion Henderson is in play. You just hope Mike Vrabel plays him. We talked about Buffalo Bills not being able to stop the run. Anybody else I'm missing?
Obviously, Travion Henderson is in play, but let me ask you, is Ramondre in play?
I can't do it.
If he plays this week, you can't do it. The goal line back.
They need to basically tell me Ramondre's starting. Like, it's so uncertain what's going to happen there that I'll start Travion Henderson and be ready to, ruin my Sunday when he doesn't play. But I won't. Unless Vrabel comes out and says Ramondre Stevenson is my running back one. I can't trust him because Ramondre's going to fumble 4 times. Like, he's going to annoy the shit out of us no matter what.
Here's my problem with the whole situation is I feel like we've seen this situation play out so many times before where a guy steps up and he's dominant and then the boring starter gets healthy again and we just roll him back out there because that's how the NFL works.
Yeah,
and
there's a loyalty there that drives you nuts, right?
I know. And I just and look, Ramondre, we just paid him. He's the old guy. Travion's cheaper. He's younger. He's going to be with us longer. We'll put Ramondre back in there. I don't know. I just feel like Stevenson's going to be okay. But for me, I have Travis Etienne against the Cardinals. He started the year off great. He cooled off for 3 or 4 games. He's playing well again, and I feel like no one is talking about him. And I try to make a mental note of how many times I heard his name in the last week and how many times I heard Bashal Tutin's name in the last week. And I heard Tutin's name more than his. And I don't get it. He's the lead guy there. And so I don't understand this whole thing. I don't know why everyone hates Travis Etienne, but they're going against Cardinals. And it's a nice matchup. He's going to get the work here. So get Etienne in your lineups for sure.
Cardinals 25 points per game to running backs, 13 total touchdowns. Is there a running back you're avoiding this week?
Yes, absolutely. I cannot actually numerous running backs if we want to do that. And it's the same game we were just talking about. I'm not doing any of the Arizona running backs. Trey Benson might be back, he might not. We don't know for sure. He's not out yet, right?
Right, but I don't think he's going to play. They just opened his window, so don't expect him to play.
Right. Great.
I can't trust Bam Knight. I can't trust Michael Carter. The other guys, DeMarcado is out this week. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm avoiding that situation.
You just made my job easy. Thank you.
What's that?
You just made my job easy. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, that would be the biggest one I would avoid. I would avoid the Chiefs running back room, Kareem Hunt potentially against the Colts. Colts only 92 rushing yards a game allowed. So that's an avoidable one. Tough matchup for Jonathan Taylor, but I think he's matchup proof. Obviously, I don't lose sleep over that. So that's a fair point. What about wide receiver? Now I'm going to throw one at you. I'm going to throw one at you. If you're desperate, wide receiver four type, you're looking for a live body, Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney now hasn't done much. I'll be the first one to acknowledge it. Penix is out. London is out. Darnell Mooney is now the wide receiver one for Kirk Cousins in a game against the Saints, which doesn't scare me. In the Dome, in New Orleans, Saints have allowed 11 touchdowns to wide receivers. I'm not saying Darnell Mooney's going to roll out and give me, 10 catches, 135 yards, and a touchdown. But if I told you Darnell Mooney gave me 6 catches for 70 yards and gave me a safe 13 points, would you go along with that?
I am not starting Mooney if London is playing. I am
He's
not
out.
starting. Well, right. I'm not starting Mooney if Penix is playing. But if Penix is not playing and London is not playing, dude, you got to start Mooney, man. And
Yeah.
uh, in if London was out and Penix was a quarterback, I'd still be hesitant to start Mooney. I feel like Cousins. I mean, we've seen it in previous seasons where Cousins has looked Mooney's way and made him fantasy relevant. So I don't hate the start.
Okay, fair enough. What about you? You got a wide receiver or two?
Yeah, dude, let's just flip the coin there on that one, dude. I love, and I know he's probably, I mean, he's played well this year, so he's probably in your lineup anyway. But dude, I love Chris Olave against the Falcons, man.
What a
The
comeback year for him,
dude,
coming off the
and
concussion.
he is absolutely needed it. The Falcons have been bad against the run. I already talked about it with Alvin Kamara, but dude, they've also been bad against the pass. Olave scored like 65-ish points over the last 5 games. He's the go-to guy in New Orleans. Rashid Shaheed is gone. It's him catching passes. It's Juwan Johnson,
Ron Johnson.
dude, and then Alvin Kamara every now and then. So he's the guy, man. And I absolutely love this week for Olave.
I actually in one league where I had Tucker Kraft at tight end, and I was streaming in Dalton Kincaid, and now he's out. Juwan Johnson happened to fall back onto the waiver wire in this league, so I was able to grab him and plug and play him this week. So I'm on board with you there.
Right.
Give me one more. Give me one more wide receiver you like.
I'm gonna give you two. And it
Okay.
sounds crazy to say it because in the preseason, if I would have told you that the Philadelphia Eagles receivers were not must starts, you'd have told me I was crazy and I'm losing my marbles. They have not been must starts.
Nope.
Neither one of them. Devontae Smith has been better than AJ Brown. But look, this week they're going against Dallas, and we know how that goes. So if you have been benching AJ Brown, good for you. You should have been, and you have Grant Baker Mayfield grandfather clock things going on for you. But look, get him in your lineup this week. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. Listen, there's certain teams you take advantage of. One of those is the Cowboys' pass defense. A wide receiver you are avoiding this week. I'll tell you
Oh,
mine. His name is DK Metcalf. If Aaron
mm,
Rodgers is out, I worry about that for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road against the Bears, which sounds like a great matchup. But DK Metcalf has disappointed. There's no doubt about that. And if Mason Rudolph is throwing him the ball, Jalen Warren may be out. That Bears defense can look actually a little better than it has played. What about you?
I'm going to argue your case while arguing against your case. Follow me here. Is there a huge difference, do you think, between Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers?
Probably at this point, obviously not.
Okay. All right. So there's the argument against you. However, argument for you. I think Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon are coming back this week for the Bears, which means DK Metcalf's job is going to be a lot more difficult because this Bears defense has, I cannot believe the Bears are, what are they, 7-3? I cannot believe their record right now. And they put themselves in an awesome position. And their defense is, they're getting healthier. Their defense is getting
Yeah,
better. So I'm with you. DK is going to be a tough start. You
all right.
mentioned that you don't want to start the Kansas City Chiefs running backs. I don't know that I want to start their wide receivers. And it's not that the Colts are, I mean, they have a very
The Colts are a bottom 10 in points allowed to wide receivers. They've allowed 10. Rasheed Rice plays. Other than that, no thank you. But Rasheed Rice is in lineups.
I agree. And I think if he's on your team, you have to play him. And yes, the Indianapolis Colts are bottom 10 in points given up on the season, but not in the last 4 weeks. In the last 4 weeks, they've given up the second least amount of points to fantasy wide receivers. So I'm narrowing the window here a little bit. And outside of Rasheed Rice, it's difficult to find someone
Oh,
that you want to play. And this is what
can't
I
play
don't.
Worthy.
No, my gosh, absolutely not. We talked about that right before we got on air. And one thing that I don't understand is why more defenses don't do what Bill Belichick did. And everyone thinks he's a genius, which, listen, my guy is. But he would go into games with very simple concepts. Now, his plays and all that stuff different, but concept is simple. Give me your best offensive player. I'm going to shut him down, and you have to beat me with somebody else. So if I am Indianapolis, I go into this game and I say, hey, look, Rasheed Rice is the best guy. Now, look, Rasheed Rice only had 38 yards receiving last week against the Broncos.
Yeah.
So they got some film to watch. They got some film to watch to see how Denver attacked the passing game and Rasheed Rice. And I say, look, I'm going to get a guy, probably my slot corner, and we're going to play trail man on Rasheed Rice. And we're going to have a keep a safety over top just in case. I don't know why more teams don't do the Bill Belichick approach. Maybe they try and they fail. I don't know. But for me, I am focusing on Rasheed Rice in the pass game, and I'm going to say, you know what, Kansas City, you beat me with Kareem Hunt, old man Kareem Hunt, and seventh round rookie Brashard Smith.
All right. Well, Vegas has this as the highest total on the board, along with the
It's
Bengals
insane.
and Patriots, the Giants and the Lions, and the Colts and the Chiefs all at 50.5. So,
Give me the under.
all right. All right. There you go. There you go. All right. Let's talk tight
Hold on,
end.
hold on.
What's
So
that?
you hold on. You love doing this on your show in the morning on Sirius XM radio. You love doing the props. I know it's not a player prop, but you and your boy go take the overs all the time.
It's over
Are
and
you
over.
taking
You have two
are you
choices,
taking the
over or over.
are you taking the over or under on the points for this one? Well, I'm definitely
Over.
taking the under.
Complete shootout.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. All right.
35-30. Patriots back to the wall. Patriots win. 35-30. Fantastically fun game. Jonathan Taylor goes buck wild. Mahomes goes wild. Every dream you want. All right. Now let's
Okay.
talk tight ends. Is Hunter Henry the most important tight end in fantasy this week?
Dude, I got him. Yes, he's one of my guys,
He's playing
man.
the Bengals.
I
Hunter
know.
Henry's in every lineup everywhere.
Yes. Yes. He's going to get a touchdown. I mean,
Guaranteed.
I think so.
It's the
I think so.
safest anytime touchdown prop there is this week. Is
But
Hunter Henry against the Bengals?
it should be
Bengals,
plus three. It should be
22
minus
points
300.
per game to tight ends. The Bengals have allowed 12 touchdowns to tight ends in 10 games. It's completely absurd. The next highest touchdown total to the tight end position is 7. They've allowed 12. It's like they don't exist in the Bengals mindset. I've never seen anything like it. So
I love
Hunter
it.
Henry everywhere, everything Hunter Henry.
Yeah, and dude, on the opposite end of the spectrum, the Rams are actually a good defense, but they've also in the last 4 weeks given up 20 points per game to the tight ends. So K. Dotton, he's been used much more over the past several weeks. I expect that to continue this week. I don't mind throwing him out there if you have to.
All right. Trey Benson, not Trey Benson, Trey McBride in line for a big game as well.
Yeah.
Seahawks don't defend the tight ends well. So that's an interesting matchup. Any tight end, like, are you, like, do you, let me ask you this question. Like there's some teams who there's no numbers against the tight end, right? They're very, very, very low. Like, for example, even tonight, like the Bills don't give up anything. The Falcons don't give up points to the tight end, right? 7.6. They've only given up one touchdown. But we also know the role Juwan Johnson plays in the Saints offense. So if you have to weigh those, right? Like, what's more important? Like a Juwan Johnson's role in the offense or the numbers of how a team like the Falcons defend the tight end. Same thing goes for Jake Ferguson and the Cowboys compared to the Eagles defense, only 7 points allowed and one touchdown. But we know Ferguson has such a major role in that offense. So what wins that battle, the role or the defense?
I think, God, this is so great. This, again, that's in the business, my friend. That's exactly why I have Ferguson as my avoid player in the tight end position
So
this
you
week.
take the defense over the role.
It depends because each game is different. So if you look at Juwan Johnson, the Saints don't have a choice. Both him and Ferguson have huge roles in the offense, but the Saints don't have a choice. They have Chris Olave and they have Juwan Johnson, and that is literally it. And Juwan Johnson is a different tight end than Jake Ferguson. Juwan Johnson lines up in that slot a whole lot more than Ferguson does. But Ferguson also, the Eagles defense is fantastic against, honestly, they've really started changing gears here. They're good against just about everybody. But the tight end, it's going to be really tough. And I mean, the Cowboys got CD Lamb, they got George Pickens. They're two of the best wide receivers in
They can
all of
live without
football.
Ferguson if they needed to.
They can exactly. So each game is its own individual animal. So for this week, I would much rather go Juwan Johnson than Jake Ferguson.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Give me your lock of the week. Now, I am still alive in my pick'em. If you remember last week, down to 5 teams, I got the Thursday night win by the Patriots. The other 4 teams all picked the Texans over the Titans. So if the Titans pulled off that upset,
Yes.
season over, I get the win. Texans pull it out late, all 5 teams move on. This week, my pick for my pick'em is the 49ers at home Monday night against the Carolina Panthers. Favored by 7. 49ers getting healthy. Purdy back. Pierce all back. McCaffrey, the quote-unquote revenge game against Carolina, although it's been a few years. And in fact, my wife's pick'em pool, who I've been telling her who to pick every week, and she is still alive, my pick for her, thankfully, we have not used the Baltimore Ravens yet. Ravens at home against the Jets. That's just a no-brainer. 13.5-point favorite are the Ravens. So those are my locks. You made a face about the 49ers. Makes me a little nervous. You think Carolina could go up cross country and win that game?
I don't think so, but they have been very surprising this year.
They're feisty. They're
Yes,
feisty.
I know.
They're you in the house alone with the wife after a couple of iced teas. You're feeling feisty. She has to swatch your way.
You're talking about your own pick while rubbing your hair. You look a little nervous while you're talking about it.
Yeah, and my hair doesn't look good today. I had a bad hair day.
That's fine. For me, my lock, Green Bay Packers, 6.5-point favorite over the Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay's good defense. Minnesota, bad offense.
Terrible.
Dude, the Vikings have scored under 20 points 2 weeks in a row. I got a feeling this is going to be the third.
All right. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you this real quick. I'm looking at the biggest lines of the week. Here we go. Ravens by 13.5 over the Jets. Do the Ravens cover?
Oh, gosh.
Cover.
If I had to bet, which I'm not going to, but if I had to, I'd say yes.
Okay. Another big number. Patriots, Bengals, total 50.5. Over or under?
Oh, man. 50. You know what? I'll go.
This is according to DraftKings Sportsbook, everybody.
I'll pull an Anthony Aniano and I'll say over.
There you go. I like it. Other big number. Colts, Chiefs, we did that 150.5. You said the under.
Did.
Seahawks, 13.5-point road favorite over Tennessee. I think they win. Do they cover 13.5 on the road?
Man, I think they might. I think they might.
All right.
Tennessee is so bad. They lost Calvin Ridley, Alec, uh, what?
Eli
Alec
Gaimana
Einema.
and DK,
Like,
yeah. There's nothing
he's
there.
probably out. I
There's
know. I
nothing.
think they might.
There's nothing. All right, I'm going to go the opposite direction now. Shador Sanders, Browns, Raiders. The total is 36.5.
Under.
36. You're talking about 17-10 covers it. No, I'm sorry. That's bad math. 27-10 covers it. Can
Under.
they cover 36.5?
Under.
Under. Okay. Cowboys, Eagles, 47.5.
I think it's over. I don't like to say it, but
Eagles favored by 3.
Mm-hmm.
You taking your Eagles to cover that?
I am.
On the road.
Yeah. No,
Me too.
I don't care.
Honestly, me too.
They may get Cam Jordan. Hold on.
All right.
Lane Johnson is out. That's bad. But the Dallas pass rush is not great. Cam Jurgens hopefully will be back, which should help Philly. I think Philly runs away with this.
Okay. Buccaneers, Rams, Sunday Night Football, total 49.5. Buccaneers, Rams. Over or under?
I think it's under. Buccaneers just blew up against the Bills. I think we're going under.
All right. And then Panthers, 49ers by 7. Monday Night Football, 48.5 is the total.
Oh man, give me an over. I need an over here. I need McCaffrey to do some good things, and let's do it. Let me give you an upset this week. You ready?
Yes. Oh yeah, we didn't hit an upset. Go.
It's happening right now, but Houston is a 5.5-point home underdog tonight against Buffalo. They are going to punch Josh Allen in the mouth over and over and over again. The Bills have struggled against good teams. But Houston is a pretty good team with a great defense. I'm very excited tonight. Let's get out of here and watch it.
Let's do it right now. 5 minutes into that game, it is 0-0.
That's what I like to hear, my friend.
So there you go. All right, everybody. Thank you, as always, for watching, everybody, to Clipboard Confessional with Bobby and Anthony. He's Bobby. I'm Anthony. Enjoy your football, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here. Have a good one, folks.
You're the man.